gentlemen, boys and girls, honored guests, I would like to present to you the man of the hour, Principal David Maher and his wife Mary. I'd like to start things off, as we always do, with Monsignor Pastor giving an opening prayer.
I really like everybody's talk. That's fantastic. Let's begin in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. We thank you, Lord, for the brightness of this day. We thank you especially for Mr. Maher and all the good things that he shared with us here at St. Paul's School. And with us as we celebrate him and his wife Mary, who with us as we celebrate his retirement and give him a special sending forth. God's blessings be with him in a very unique way all the days of his life. Together we praise and thank God and say, glory to God in the highest, and peace to his people on earth. I do not know that far. I'm sorry. And let's say amen. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you, Monsignor. Let's go ahead and let everybody know who we have here today as our guests, and introduce each one of them just very briefly, let you know who they are, and they're each going to come up later and have something to say about this special day and the special man that we're honoring today. First of all, my immediate left is Her Honor Diane Whalen. She's the mayor of the city of Florence. Thank you, Mayor Whalen, for coming. Next to the mayor is our state senator, Mr. John Schickel. Give him a round of applause. Of course, you all know Monsignor, and then for Mrs. Mayor. Next to Mrs. Mayor is the Judge Executive of Boone County, Mr. Gary Moore. And of course, you know Father Joseph. And one gentleman, a couple of gentlemen who were supposed to be here today that were not able to make it was State Representative South Bend, and also Mr. Mike Klein, who's the Superintendent of Catholic Schools, and we appreciate them for sending the best wishes. Also in the back over there, we've got our PTO President, Becky Midor. And Bill Cohen of the Boosters. And I think you don't know who I am. My name is John Haney. I've had an association with this school for the past 13 years. My son Michael graduated in 2007, and Nora is now in this year's class of 2012. What girls? Boys, 8th graders, we have 9 days left. And the rest of you maybe 13 days left for school before it's all over. Okay, so we're here to honor Mr. Maher, and I think that's a wonderful thing. When I was asked to participate, I jumped at the opportunity because over the past 13 years I've really come to admire and respect the man that he is. And his 45 years of dedicated service to education, he has literally had a positive impact on thousands of Northern Kentuckians. And I think that's a wonderful thing. Let's give him another round of applause. So, our first speaker today will be Mayor Diane Webb of the City of Florence.
Good morning, everybody. lot of times I ask what the best part of my job is, because so many different things go on in our city. And I always tell them the best part of my job is getting to stand up in front of a group of students, children, and the other part is being able to recognize people that I know personally that have touched my life and my family's life. So I sat in this 2 days and launched production of Aladdin and Beauty and the Beast when my children were here and they performed in those. I've attended 8th grade graduation here when my children were here. I've been part of a fundraising effort to send the 8th graders to Washington, D.C. on 2 occasions. So I really have a personal interest in this school. And I can tell you that I knew every step of the way that I had the support and the confidence of a very special man, and that's your principal, David Maher. He made it easy, he made it fun, and without his help and help of Ms. Paula Clyden, who was always there being supportive as well, I don't know that it would have been near as much fun, or I'd been willing to help and participate. I do feel a little bit undressed. I didn't get my tie today, so I apologize for that. But I did want to have the opportunity to be here. It means a lot that I can stand up here and recognize somebody that I do know, that I do care about, and who has had a very profound and great influence in the lives of my children. Where you go to school, where your parents send you, those are all really important things. And your moms and dads and families have chosen to send you here to St. Paul's School. And it is because they trust and believe that you're going to get the education you need and have the support of the teachers, the parents, and the administration. So we will miss Mr. Maher's capacity. We know that he won't be too far away from us, but we do appreciate everything he's done. I do have a proclamation here that I'll read briefly. It says, whereas David H. Maher has served as principal of St. Paul Catholic School since 1985, and he will retire at the end of 2012. Whereas the accomplishments and achievements of David Maher deserve recognition and commendation for 45 years of Catholic education in the Diocese of Covington and the Archdiocese of Cincinnati. And whereas 27 years of service have been marked by exemplary dedication to the school, through advancement in education, and working for the betterment of children. Whereas throughout the performance of his duties and responsibilities as the principal of St. Paul Catholic School, Mr. Maher made excellent and constructive contributions, including installation of kindergarten, 3 building projects, a computer lab, smart boards, and a counseling program for the children. Whereas during his many years at St. Paul's School, his work has enriched and blessed a vast number of children as well as adults. Now therefore I, Amy Whalen, Mayor of the City of Florence, express appreciation to David Maher for his 27 years of service, for his outstanding leadership and dedication to St. Paul Catholic School, and I wish to extend to him sincere best wishes for a long and happy retirement. Everyone, my hand is staying.
Thank you very well. I don't know if any of you, I know you don't know this, but a number of years ago when I was the PTO president here, it was the first year of the Florence Freedom, and they had some financial difficulties with the original ownership of that team. Our school had sold something like 400 tickets to go to the ball game there, and I was afraid we were going to lose the money and not get our tickets. And they were going to help us out at that time, and she had been a great friend to the school, and we appreciate it. Let's have another round of applause for Mary. Our next speaker is the highest elected official in the county room. He is the head of the fiscal court. This is Judge Executive, Mr. Gary Moore.
Thank you so much. It is a pleasure to be with you here this morning. We were talking earlier about proclamations, and once one is read, the others are pretty much the same. So I'm going to bear you the time and not read this word for word because it's very close to what the mayor just read. You know, as county judge executive, as the mayor stated, one of the great things that we get to do as elected officials is to honor people that have done wonderful things and made our community a better place to live and to work and to raise a family. And that's why today here with Mr. Maher. You know, when I think about the dates on here, when he started as principal and even as a teacher, and I look at the number of people in this room, the number of families, and if you take this number, all of you, and multiply that times 27 years, and just think of how many people that is, how many families that is. And then when I look at when you began teaching over 40 years ago, you take the number again and multiply that times 40 years. And what an impact that is on our community, on our county, and on all of Northern Kentucky. And we are blessed to live in a wonderful place where we have a good quality of life. But that begins with education. And each and every one of you here today, as the mayor stated, your families are sending you here because they want you to have a wonderful education and a wonderful experience. Continue that throughout your life, and our entire community will be a better place. Mr. Mayor, I too want to present my proclamation, and it's very close, except for the fact that it says that we are making this David H. Mayer Day in Boone County, so it's countywide. And it is signed by me, Jerry W. Moore, County Judge Executive, on this day. And I urge all to take note. Thank you, and congratulations.
David Maher Day, isn't that cool? Our next speaker is from Senate District number 11, which serves Burlingame, Gallatin, and part of Hennepin County. So he is our state senator, Mr. John Schiff.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, especially boys and girls. Mayor, it's great to be here to honor you today. I'm a lucky fellow in that I'm a graduate of Catholic School. And so like Judge Moore said, I know the sacrifice that my parents made to send me to school. Someday, boys and girls, I know you realize it now and you thankful to your parents now. But someday you'll even realize it more, the sacrifice that your parents made to send you to this wonderful school. And as we get older, we can't help it, I think, reflect a little bit. I was reflecting this morning about how, and I know it's not popular in our culture to talk about it today, but I know boys and girls you've learned, and I learned in grade school. Someday we'll be held to account for our life on Judgment Day of everything we did in this world. I couldn't help but think about Mr. Mayer and his life and his career, and that he has really chosen probably two of the most important things anyone can choose to make his life a career. One is education. Number two is the salvation of souls through Catholic education. And so on Judgment Day, I was thinking, boy, I think I could get in with Mr. Mayer. And maybe I do, I could just kind of walk with him. But we do want to honor you today. One thing about principals, they just do all kinds of things in school. One of the things I do, and they can't find anybody else who can do, is I drive a school bus. And I'm always on substitute route, I never know where I'm going. And I remember one day, or several days, I had to come over here. And I didn't know where I was going, and I knew I was late, but I didn't know where I was going. Well, I hope Mr. Mayor not there waiting with the kids. Well, sure enough, very late in the parking lot, where all the kids waiting on me. And so, you think of a principal as the head of the school, which he is, but I know, Mr. Mayor, you do all kinds of activities, and you're so dedicated. Thank you on behalf of the state of Kentucky for your great service to our children. And I have two proclamations I want to present. The first one is from State Representative South Centura, and I know you all know State Representative South Centura because almost I call him quite a bit. It seems like very often when I call him, he says, "John, I'm going to meet in St. Paul. I have to call you back." So I know he's very active here, and you all love him. And he wanted to be here today, but he's actually out of town attending the graduation of his daughter and couldn't be here today. But I wanted to present you with this proclamation from the Kentucky House of Representatives on his behalf. have. So on behalf of this Commonwealth, in fact, I want to present you to these two proclamations. Exactly how many senators drive school buses? You told me this, New York? Okay. Next up is someone you all know, our art teacher, Mrs. Mrs. has a rather special presentation she's going to make.
I have this honor because I'm one of the newbies here. I've only been with Mr. Mayor for 2 years, but I feel pretty honored to have spent a few years with you, which is one of the highlights of my memory day so far. This is me's son, Johnny, made a trunk for you, and we demolished it with your initials and a picture of St. Paul, and the kids later are going to present you with their ties that some very creative children made for you. Inside is a poem, and it's fun to read to you what it says, because I'm sure you would come from all of us. Goodbyes are not forever, goodbyes are not the end. They simply mean we'll miss you until we meet again. So, don't touch the trunk, it's still a little tacky, so you just have to touch it. Okay?
Mrs. Midor is the only newbie. There are some other fairly new faculty members here at the school, and I actually realized when I was looking at it at the audience that there's actually one recent hire who was a student here when you were principal. So you know when you're hiring your former first graders that the clock is all right, next we're going to have the students make presentations of kids. And I'm not sure exactly what the order is supposed to go. Kindergarten, okay, very good. We have two kindergarten students. Come close for a second. Tell me who you are. Give them some Merry present. Sure. Oh, this is a picture from the kindergarten circus. This is this is Hendrix classes, and all the students had signed. Kindergarten circus. That's all. We have two first grade students who've been selected. Oh, here you are. Come on, guys. Can you tell me what your name is? Yeah, tell me what to say. You can read that?
Mr. Mayor, all of us in the first grade have enjoyed having you as our principal. We haven't gotten to spend as much time with you and haven't gotten to know you quite as well as some of the bigger kids here. But we really wrote for you to let you know how much we love you. You don't know what to do during your retirement. We have given you some ideas. We will miss you, Mr. Mayor. Have a happy retirement.
And we have the students in the second grade. Let me first, please. What's your name? Okay. Come on over, guys. Kathy, is you want to read?
Thank you for all your work and continue your doing. Since grade is 7 to 55 years. Since Simply come here to decorate the fish. May they continue to have you and enjoy the wish. The wish to rain, wish to face, that is why we need to use the
And the name of all the students on the back. Very nice. Third grade. Front to back, kids, 11 through, please.
We also have adventures of Life Standing and Mr. Maher throughout the different events that he does. And we're giving you your very own plaque, Mr. Maher, and you can take it with you during your retirement, take pictures and send them back to us with a couple sentences telling us what you're up to.
And we're now up to the fourth grade.
fourth grade decided to give Mr. Maher was, first of all, a derby hat for the 2012 Derby to remind him of the fourth grade Derby, also suitable for wearing on the golf course, and a special edition Titleist golf balls that are personally signed by the fourth graders, therefore they are guaranteed to go straight and home.
Moving right along, it is time for the fifth grade.
Caitlin. Although your time with us is drawing to a close, we thought you'd like to see what the fifth grade shows. We've chosen something that all fifth graders share, an item that you get to wear. It will remind you of all the fun fifth graders have when getting them. They appreciate your time, your learning, and your enthusiasm for learning. Something to remember this one. It's made in the Native American way, and it's something you may enjoy to party. So you can use it soon to play us a merry little tune. Happy retirement, Mr. Mayor.
Now we move on to middle school and the sixth grade. Everybody introduce yourself. Josh, go ahead.
Mr. Mayor, we hate to see you go and we know you must be on your way. We think back over the 7 years as you help us every day. Back to school, open house, reading from the morning, 9 holes of golf, no days off, the tide we give more. Welcome down the schoolhouse floor in which we store our papers. We present to you a replica on memory field.
We have a copy of the 345, signed by the entire grade. Great. I think there's a copy of that home on the inside of the locker this morning, just in case you forget. Seventh grade. Your name, please.
We'll have representatives of seventh graders. There's many exciting activities we look forward to with the beginning of seventh grade. We chose the hard hat to represent the safety gear we have to wear from conference occasion. There are pictures of our lives that we decorated the hard hat, including the Renaissance Fair in October and Christmas Carol in December. Current and future seventh graders from the students.
brings us, I guess, to the current kings of the school and queens of the school. And we have our 8th grade representative. Representing the final graduating class of Mr. Maher. Okay, Mr. Maher, you guys. I think I know who you are.
And I'm Cameron.
AJ has privilege. Adorable to play in Bay County, but the biggest and best adventure of all is DC. Our class trip to Washington, D.C. signifies the end. The end of the year, the end of our state ball career. We look forward to Washington, D.C. every step of the way. And as an 8th grader, it gives us a chance to say goodbye to everything and everyone we've known since kindergarten.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for supporting the play for so many years, and we hope you get to see many more to come.
Oh, and you're welcome to Nancy Hunter with this title. And that concludes the students' presentation of gifts. Next speaker is going to be our PTO president, Mrs. Becky Middledore, and she has a special announcement to make.
We know how important the Catholic education is to Mr. Maher, and you guys might not realize that. I'm sure you hear about it from your parents, and my kids hear about it from me, that it is a sacrifice to be able to send your kids to Catholic school. And we're privileged to be able to do that, and I know that there's a lot of children out there who maybe aren't as fortunate, and if we're able to help them in some small way to be able to afford to come to St. Paul, in Mr. Maher's name, we thought that would be the perfect way to honor him. So you guys had it out of uniform day a couple months ago now. Do you have any idea how much money you guys raised from that day? Nope. Over $2,000. So give it out of me. That money is going into a fund, the Day Maher Scholarship Fund that the PTO is establishing. But we weren't able to fill the check out yet because it's still growing. So we're still adding to it, and it's still growing, and we know that it will continue to grow over the years as everyone that Mr. Maher has touched comes back and wants to give something back to the school in his honor. So thank you guys for raising the money to go here, because this is going to help people down the road that want to come to St. Paul School. So we're going to give you one check, and we'll fill it in if you need to be here before you leave, and we know exactly how much it is.
Next on the list is represents the St. Paul School Boosters, and that's Mr. David Henry.
David, it's my honor to get to present to you a gift from the Boosters. You can enjoy in retirement. And it's also my distinct honor and privilege to get to announce a verbal proclamation from Monsignor Thomas Beckstetter with recommendations from the staff, faculty, PTO, and boosters on behalf of parents, friends, and all past, present, and future students of St. Paul School, that from today and this day forward, that the drive coming in from the school on the far side of the church or by the Scout House will forever know and proclaim the David Maher Day.
We'll have a permanent marker out there very shortly, and that's just a little representation of that.
There's going to be a gift there as well.
Congratulations on your retirement. As you retire, you look back with pride on all that you've done. You look forward to that anticipation and every time. Congratulations to you.
I want to know if Dave Maher raised one way street. I know transportation is definitely a one-way street. Okay, we have now come to a very special part of the program. It's my understanding that the entire body is prepared to serenade. I forgot perhaps the most important part of the entire program. And that's when we actually let them get a chance to talk to you firsthand. Thank you. What else can I say? You have been the joy of my life. Dr. Schneider taught me to bring a handkerchief to you tonight. I will miss you later. Get up every morning and come to work. I guess and Mr. I told many people yesterday, if you find a job you like and marry the right person, which I certainly have, the rest of life is easy. The rest of my life is easy. So I want to thank you all and all of your predecessors. Yes, I am older than dirt. I taught Kristen's mother, and so 3 generations, her mother, her, and I was dating her son. We're taking grandkids of people you taught. It's time to hit the road. There she is. It's time to hit the road. So I want to thank you all. Thank you all for everything, for every day of being here, for all of your support, all of your good wishes, all of your enthusiasm, and everything. It's been an absolute delight. And now I admit I'm very excited about retirement. It will be a sad day on August 16th when you're here. I'm not. Thank you. Well, the past 13 years I've really come to love the St. Paul School community, and you have always been a very huge part of that. But everything, the cafeteria, ladies, I see it back there, and all the other staff that is from the school, the parents and teachers, and just everyone involved with St. Paul School. It's a fabulous place. And just, I hope you realize how lucky you are. I'm sure you do. So now we are going to move on with the musical portion of our festivities today. And I'll let Mrs. Maher take over.
This college night
Mr. Mayor, we're really pleased to inform you that there is now a whole new generation of Cat Stevens fans. So we're really glad. You ready?
Michael was singing that song. I said, Michael, you like Cat Stevens?
Okay, we have a few special students that need to come up. With my 8th grade representative, 7th grade representative, 6th grade representative, 5th grade representative, 4th grade and 3rd grade, and 2nd grade, 2nd grade, 3rd grade, and 3rd grade.
Just get started, and before you know it, comes the time we have to say so long. There's a time you set aside for dreaming and for doing things you like to do. But the times we liked the best were any school days we will spend the moment here with you. When the time comes and I feel lonely, and I'm feeling lost or blue, I'll just sit back and think of you only, and the happiness still comes through. That's why we had this time together, just to have that voice sing a song. Seems we just get started, and before you know it, comes the time we have to say so long. I'm so glad we had this time together, just to have that voice sing a song. Seems we just get started, and before you know it, comes the time we have to say so long. Thanks, Dave.
I'd like to thank once again all of our honored guests here today. Let's give them one final round of applause, please. And it's my understanding that there is a final gift from each one of the kids to you, Mr. Mayor. Each one to give you their time. You'll never run out of time. So on your way out, please, I understand you by grade. By grade kindergarten first. Please come up and hand off your ties, Mr. Mayor, on your way back to your